Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Here is 7 Wonders Babel. What a glorious cover that is. I mean, that just looks fantastic. I like it quite a bit. Open up, you're going to get some rules. This is a really nice rule book here, I think. So it gives you a picture of the components, maybe even set up, and it goes through each of the 2 modules. It tells you exactly how everything goes, breaks down the effects, which I like. Everything is color-coded, and it tells you how to play with 2 players. And if you want to incorporate any of the expansions that were released at the time in, it tells you the explanation. The second one's going to be the great projects, how to work that in. Once again, how to go with other expansions if you want to play the full game with everything that's ever been released, and a 2-player and an 8-player game. Very good. And then, if you just want to bring the Babel in, the tower, all you need to do is read this. If you want to do the great markets, or the great projects, if you want to do it all, then you can read all of this. So it kind of just breaks it down. Very good job on the rules. Now the insert inside here, these are going to be the great projects they're going to have. These are big. They're going to be a little bit of a table hog. They're going to tell you the cost, what you're going to get for it, and the rewards, and the penalties over here. Basically, the artwork on it is just fantastic. So very good job with that. Now here is a little bit of a cheat sheet that you can pass around the board. People can really see this. You just kind of pass it around as people want to go. Very nice inclusion. Wasn't required, but man, this is really good stuff that you're going to have here. Here's going to be the board based on the number of players for the Babel, and you'll be putting those in here, as you can see, and they will come up through this. And then you will start building on top of it as it gets taller. And I think that's a really cool piece. So the way you're going to work with these is that if you wanted to, you can discard a card because you're going to draft these at the beginning. You have some of these in your hand, and you'll place it down. And this is a rule that is in effect now. For example, -1 cost from the neighbors, etc. And that will be a rule everybody will have to play with as they're going through, and that rule will stay in effect until it gets covered up, and then other rules will be in effect. So sometimes you'll want to play cards or these tiles as I want this rule in effect to hurt somebody or help myself, and then something might be like killing you, like this one. Oh man, it's a really nasty one to have. You'll just want to cover it up, but you're going to keep going around in a circle. That's kind of how that is going to work. Now for these, the great projects, you want to have these out. You will cooperatively build these, and you have a cost here associated. So when you play a purple card, you can pay the cost, and then you can play this. But everybody, if this is successfully built, everybody who helped will get this benefit right here. If it's a failure and does not get built by the end of the era, then whoever did not participate will get a negative on that. So when you play a card of this color, you can add to the great project. You're going to have a bunch of different little tokens and tiles that will go into it as you're going through. Now, as for what you want to do, I think you definitely want to play the base game a few times before jumping into this. I think this is going to add some complexity to the game, etc. as people are going through a bunch of tiles and tokens and little doodads that will be flying around. So you want to get a good feeling for the core game before you jump into this. The Tower of Babel is going to be, I think, the more complex one, as you have to remember these rules that are going on through the game. Sure, it's going to be in front of everybody right here, but there's a lot more icons and things to think about as you're progressing through the game. So that will definitely add into that experience. Now, as for the great projects, I feel like they're a little easier to jump into and add into the experience because people can easily see the card color and the cost, and it's just a one-time reward and stuff. It's not a rule that's going to be ongoing throughout the experience. So I feel like these are kind of now combined. It's going to be a little bit of a table hog. You're going to have these big things on the board. You're going to have a whole other map out there. So it's going to take up a little bit more space and a little bit more complexity. I think the Babel, since that's what it's named after, people are going to gravitate to playing with this first. But I think the project's a little bit easier to get into the game. So your mileage may vary. You can use both of these at the same time. You can choose one or the other if you want to add it into the system. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And I think there's a lot in here that people are going to like. Now, I'm particularly not going to be keeping this expansion, but here is why. The main reason is going to be is I'm not going to keep any expansion for 7 Wonders. I think I'm kind of gravitating more towards the Architect's version, the simpler version. I like that one quite a bit. And I don't play it enough. I was never a humongous fan of 7 Wonders. I like the game. It's very solid. It's a very good drafting game. And it took the world by storm when it came out. I just don't feel like it's something that I'm going to keep going back to enough to warrant having expansions. So while I like this, and I feel like it's a very good expansion, it's just not going to fit my play style. It's not going to fit me being able to get it to the table. I'm not routinely getting it, so I'm going to go ahead and push it out. While it's still something I highly recommend. If you like Seven Wonders, definitely get Babel and introduce it into the system. I think that you'll like it quite a bit.